Aloha, Namaste, Sitaram, Assalamu Alaikum, Shalom. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to each and every one of you. I want to say welcome to Divine Soul Journey. My name is Dianne Ojar, and I want to say thank you so much for being here with us. Divine Soul Journey, because divine, we all have a divine in our lives. We look up to divine for guidance, for strength, for knowledge, for wisdom. We all have a original one soul that goes from lifetime to lifetime. And its sole job is really to learn the lessons and take that forward and implement it into the next lives. Whether you want to believe that or not. So you can go home, as we say, into enlightenment. And that's when you complete your life's purpose. And we're all on that journey, so we want to be on that journey together with you. As a disclaimer, I just want to say this is not about religion. This is not about Taoism. You're going to hear the word Tao, and Tao just basically means the way, the source, the divine. We're not here to suggest anything to anyone or convince anyone of anything. If you choose to partake in our practices, awesome! Congratulations! One of the things, we always do forgiveness practices. We love forgiveness practices. And we also give blessings from time to time. And yes, our guests will get the 100% of that blessing. But guess what? Think of a fire. When you're setting a fire up, you have to use a little kindle to spark that fire, and the sparks fly all over the place. That's what you will be getting. Just as powerful. It could be 1%, 2%. For me, I'm very receptive and I feel it even stronger sometimes than when I'm getting a direct blessing. So just sit back and be comfortable. If it's not for you, it's okay. Just say, I'm not ready, but when you go back and you listen, then you're ready. Awesome. Say enjoy. At this time, I would love to say, I have someone here who has so much to share. We all go through and we have an opportunity where we can shine and we do the best we can do at that given point in time, because then we move on to something else. But I can tell you one thing, the lessons this gentleman has learned, the wisdom, the connections, position himself, was all part of the journey. He's going to share that journey with you and more as well. So please help me welcome Demario Jones. Welcome, Demario, to the Divine Soul Journey.
Hi, Deanne. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and looking forward.
It's my pleasure to have you, Demario. Absolutely. We all have a story, like I said, and every story is interesting. This is where I always say to my audience as well, if you have a story to share with us, definitely reach out to us at dsjshow2020@gmail.com, because we want to hear the story just like we're going to listen to Demario now. So, Demario, tell us, who is Demario?
Well, Demario Jones is a gentleman who was born and raised here in the United States, but specifically Atlanta, Georgia. I'm very thankful. Had a great mom, great dad out of the Southwest Atlanta area, and we have 5 sisters. I'm the only boy, so you know how that go, right? Trying to protect, 5 great women, and very, very thankful to have those as part of my family. That's one great thing, and one great journey that I learned over the years is being protective of women, especially when you have 5 sisters. So um, that's one grateful thing to have there. Um, what else? Going through the ranks, being able to establish a good rapport as far as playing a little basketball, through the high school ranks. Was able to get, some wonderful scholarships. But it was tough. I wasn't always the great individual. Had some pitfalls there. Had myself in the wrong crowd a couple of times. It happens, when you're in the urban community and urban cities, where you fall to, let's just say, influences that you just don't know that's there. And those things can be very, very challenging if you don't have the right manager or the right service behind you. And I went through that myself a couple of times and had to learn from it. And fortunate enough, God had a great plan for me, and I was able to get out of that. So that was a great opportunity there, and I was able to establish that and been able to move on from there. Got a shot to play professional. As I shared with you before, I got lucky. Got involved with a nice guy. Like I told this guy named Leroy, who took a shot at me. And when I say took a shot, took a shot on me as trying to be a representative for me. And he got a shot to play professional, and that took me to a whole nother journey. You only get a shot at it. I was lucky enough to get my shot of multiple teams. I would never change that for nothing in the world. You learn so much, and you do so much, and you learn the business, and you understand the business, and it just takes you all over the world, which I had the blessing and to be able to do, and be able to have great contacts and create great relationships, and it actually brought me here today.
That's lovely. Thank you so much for sharing that. I have to let you know that I am from a family of 6. We have 5 girls and 1 boy in my family as well. So I can relate to that as well. My brother is the 4th in the family. So definitely, we have something there in common. And, congratulations, because sometimes, I know you had to work tirelessly in regards to position yourself for the scouters, so for people who are scouting for talent in regards to any type of sports. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of discipline. I know my son, he's a really good football player, but when I see him playing high school football, and it took away from his school, he came home so tired because you're constantly running, as you know, just like in basketball. But I was like, no, eventually 8 o'clock, he would be coming home and exhausted. And I was like, no, this is not going to work. So it is a huge dedication. It is, as a parent. And I saw him one day playing, and I was like, oh my God, it's just a matter if he gets hurt. Because if he gets hurt, guess what? He's young. He's 15, probably 14, 15, not even 16 at the time. You have to protect. So I understand it's a lot of work and discipline there as well. So congratulations for having that shot. What made you decide to what happened after and you didn't pursue it?
Well, when I decided to play, my mother and grandmother, father, as most scenarios, here in America, in the city, they're just not home a lot, and I have to be honest. A lot of people don't know my mother really was against me playing basketball, so I had to really, really convince her, because I had a lot of sisters also, so someone has, a lot of times when parents is working and so much stuff is going on, but it's for dedication, and once you kind of like get the ideal that you have a shot at being good, and once you start getting a little attention, from the youth league sponsors and other exposures, coaches. I mean, you have to understand. In a million years, people really didn't think I had even the opportunity to even play the sport. I mean, everything, all odds was against me, and all odds. Okay, family members, other sponsor parents, you know, I mean, who kids they, you know, who kids they just felt, you know, had all the financial backing, whatever you want to call it. But see, they didn't have the fight and the desire that I had. See, people don't realize, you know, I was staying in the city, but I used to travel from the age of maybe, I want to say at least 10 to 11. And, you know, don't quote me on that, but like for at least 4 years, you know, if not 5, for at least an hour to 2 hours on the subway, which is the model station, you know, to school. And I had to get up every morning at 5:30 as a, you know, 11 and 12-year-old just to catch the bus and get on the train. Imagine that for 4 to 5 years and go to, you know, just to go to school. And then after school, I have to practice, you know, and learn, you know, and work on my game. And so I was getting home between the ages of 11 up to maybe 17, you know, every day by myself at 8:30 to 9:30 at night, and repeated itself all over again by myself. So a lot of people don't know that. So that was a lot of dedication and work. So I was missing half of what a lot of other kids was going through. I mean, no one really expected me to, you know, come up through the ranks and be able to do what I was doing. Like I just wasn't on anyone's radar to stay tech, right? And it just happened. And you know, once I saw opportunity on it, I just worked on my game, and it just went from there. But you know, it's like any other vision. You know, you see an opportunity, and you know, you try to take advantage of it. You know, I did it. I got a shot at it. You know, would I have liked for it to work out in the long run? Who doesn't dream of being a Hall of Famer, right? But hey, you get there, and you know, at least you're somewhere else, and you know, you get a shot overseas, and yeah, that part of the life was a hell of a life. It definitely was a great run when you had all odds against you. And believe me, Sister Dianne, I am one of those people. All odds is always against me. I am that guy.
That's great. But thank you for sharing that. I do know that you're 6 feet 7 inches.
Yes.
So that was in your favor, to tell you the truth, in this game. So
yeah, I grew. Well, God blessed me with some couple of inches as I was growing through my teenage years.
Well, that certainly did help. And we're not here, you know, on the Divine Soul journey to disrespect anybody's craft, or whether you were there for a few months, a few years, or what you did. What we're here to talk about is really about the growing pains, the journey, how it made you a better father, a better businessman, a better person, a better humanitarian, and the teachings and learnings. Because anything that we want to do in life, it doesn't matter what our career is, you know, the opportunity is always there. It's risk. Everything is risky, but you got to work so much. And, you know, you did touch on something there, because in any type of professional sports or any professional anything, the parents are the ones who pretty much are the ones who are, how should I say? The pressure is on the players, but it's the parents are the one who's pushing people more. In your case, you were the opposite. I mean, the other parents.
Correct.
You know, so it's different. Yeah, you wanted it with passion, and the rest of them are being pressured too. Do you find that happens a lot in terms of the industry?
No. Well, I only can speak for myself. I've you know, people who I played with or come through. I only can speak for. I could tell you, but everybody's role is different. I never had the support as much as others. I am all odds against. Okay, bets is off with me. I'm sitting here telling you, like, there wasn't no support. That wasn't no anything. You know, this is just a person. I'm just really a straight up hard rock, you know, kind of guy who just actually just followed what I believed in, and by any means necessary, just made it happen the way I only understood how to make that happen. So I didn't have like however a lot of other people. Now, did I have access to that? Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I didn't have access to family and friends that actually didn't have money. Yeah, I have that. But you get into these spaces where people are just doing what they do, and but it made me who I am today. I mean, like I say, once you get there and you kind of like start building the name and it's starting to like go somewhere. That's when you see all these people. Well, I'm only speaking for myself. That's when you see all these guys come across and they want to be a part of something. But it's that I don't have the experience where you actually have people support and want to put something down and back you and fund you and push you there. Like the only one that I ever seen that actually done that was the gentleman Leroy, and he was he was going into a new industry where I was pretty much his first client. And hey, look, like I said, kudos and hats off to this guy because this guy put money behind. He literally got me in the workouts. Okay, with the Lakers and the Hawks. So I mean, this is a guy who actually put money behind it. So I don't have that same experience as a lot of guys, and it was. I'm just one of them people who all the odds has always been against. That's just what it is. So I'm like a person. Once I get there, people are like, "How do you do that? And how did you get there?" You know what I mean? That's just been my journey.
Well, absolutely. And thank you for that because, literally, like I said, you can walk the walk so you can talk the talk. It's like, my book. When I did my book as well, I'm not disrespecting this. So everyone who's listening to me, please, I'm not here to condone anyone. I'm not a fan of ghostwriters for books in that sense because you can't look in the camera and say, I wrote this book with, you feel like you're proud of it. You can feel proud of what you've accomplished. And this is what it is. So moving forward, again, congratulations for that. What
Thank
did
you.
you learn from that experience to take you forward now as being a business owner? Because now you know the discipline, now you know well, of course, you experienced the hard work. And how did you implement that? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So taking that commitment, that dedication, that drive, that earning desire to move forward. You've had, there's a lot of teachings and learnings, and you put that forward now into your present life
My
with
life.
your family and your business and so forth. How does that help? Has that helped you?
Well, through through those experiences, Diane. To be honest, I'm only can speak for myself. You just learn no one cares anything about your dreams and your hopes. Um, you have to find it within yourself. And I would just say, I'm just more of a self-motivated type of guy. That's what that kind of positioning gives you. So when you learn and you go through these things and you kind of see that, the people that you feel the closest to you or the people that you feel that should care about those things really just, people just don't care until they have to care. And when I say they have to care, that means because they see something that they can get something out of, or they see a light in with you, so they want to attach themselves to it. So that's how I see it. And it actually makes you a better person. It gives you better insight on life. It actually gives you a better structure. You kind of pick up a quick instinct around human behavior around you, so to speak. So that's really, speaking for myself, that's how I really see it.
Absolutely. And I always say to everyone when I speak with them, no one can tell your story, whether you're here, presently or not, or passed on, better than yourself. We all know as a third person, we assume we knew someone, but we never know deep down inside how that person was feeling, what's going on inside that person's mind or heart and soul. I am the founder of International Men's Day, and this is one of the things I realized, that men did not have a voice. Who did, and who didn't, and who wanted to didn't have the opportunity and platform. So I thank you for sharing this, because I understand And this goes for women as well, but I focus more on the men simply because somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to give them a chance to talk like we're talking right now. You have been around um, very professional people, as we mentioned before, in
Yes.
terms of you've seen money, you've seen success. Now you're
Yes.
into international business right now, correct?
Correct.
So you see the money, you see the business, you're in a space of wealth, you're in a space of power, you're in a space where money talks and people talk.
Yes.
What is some of the things that has helped you move forward from your past in because it's a different game. You're in a totally different game right now. Totally
Yes.
different. So what are some of the things you see that's similar and some things that may not be in your favor to your best
Well,
ability?
the beauty of you know, international business, and if you say, well, how did you get to this place right now? Um, it's culture. You know, one thing you get to learn about the international space is it's culture. It's like a good food. It's who don't like to. It's inspiring. Who don't like to learn something different about a new food, that you never had before, or a new drink. So it's refreshing. It's like energy to the brain and energy to the mind. So when you approach these types of scenarios with something new and different, it's actually more accepting than the norm from where you come from. So you kind of tackle it a little bit more differently. You kind of tackle it a little bit more with a little bit more structure, and because most places, if you understand the culture, you kind of actually get in return the respect. It's only when you don't understand and you challenge the culture when you kind of get the pushback. That's just my experience. Okay, so that's the international space has always been a good, actually a good healing for me, because I'm a people's guy and I'm a personality. So I actually prevail in that space compared to where I come from in the norm, because it's international is actually more culture. People have boundaries, and they believe in what they believe in, and it's actually more simple to identify that than trying to actually challenge that. And I understand that.
Absolutely. Do you sometimes, what they say, correct me if I'm wrong, you run the game, like, when you have the playbook, in a sense, when you have an opportunity, one of the in your present business, do you tend sometimes to fall back into that discipline and say, okay, you're going to run the game, or you're going to, because you talk about, structuring, it has a discipline, there's an outline. Do you sometimes find that you tend to do that as well? I mean, technically speaking, that's what we should be doing in business, is like having a business plan, a financial business plan. But, setting it up, know the risk that's involved, and definitely it's a culture. It's a different conversation completely with people, because you're talking about money. Money talks here. So you tend to find that you fall into that where you would pretty much outline your game plan when you meet a new client.
Well, and that's a great question. Just to make it a little bit more simpler. When you're in those type of scenarios, you just do more listening than talking.
That's true. Be quiet. You'd be surprised what you
Yeah.
can learn. You'd be surprised what you learn when
Yeah,
you stay
that's the
quiet.
answer.
You're so right. That's a really, really. Believe that's the best answer you can possibly, because the teachings and the learning is the listening to everybody else around you who has all the knowledge and power, and people who are in that position like to talk. So when you give them the platform to talk, they'll talk their heads off, some of them. and you just listen.
Right.
And either they like you, they don't like you, because a lot of business is done on handshakes, as you know, right, or conversation, or on the golf course, and so forth,
Correct.
because it is a totally different mentality. Do you find it's easier to make?
Well, I'll tell you something, Deanne.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to invite me on the golf course.
Why not? They don't like your pretty
I don't.
face, Demario. What is
I
some of the
can't get on the golf course and talk. If someone would actually invite me on the golf course, we could get a lot of business done. I have a lot of good relationships. I can't get on the golf course.
But let me ask you this question: can you play golf?
Who, me? Nah, I'm not a golf
So
guy, but I know how to play. I could play a little bit.
Okay, so why don't you go and learn how to play golf? And that's where you meet people. Sometimes you have to go out there and just mind your own business, have fun with it, and then people will come up and speak to you. It's like when I go to the event, not here for any ego whatsoever, but I go, there's food I eat. I make sure I eat. And then I sit there and I don't scan the room. I don't walk the room. I make sure I eat. If I spend a whole night and eat, I will eat. And then people come up and talk to you. It's the energy. So start learning how to play the game if you want to be in the game, Mr. Demario.
Thank you for the advice, Deanne.
Yes, you know that. You have to learn the conversation. You have to learn the language, the lingo. You have to dress the dress. You have to, people say that, when you look at golf, it's a little boring, except on the Wii. But when you're in the game, people love it. It's a totally different rush. So that's your job, to go and learn the game if you want people to invite you. I have somebody I know, he cannot play golf. He said he's terrible at it, but he has his own clubs and everything because his friends invite him. It's okay to look silly on the golf course. It's all right. Just have fun with it. So you might be surprised what can happen. So there's always a solution for everything. You can say the sky is falling, and I will tell you something else. Absolutely.
Very inspiring.
Yes. So, on your journey now, on the spiritual side of it, you are discovering who you are, or you have discovered, and we're always still discovering, and there's always more to discover and learn about ourselves. Where do you find yourself right now in your journey? Because the journey is all about the mental, the physical, emotional, and the spiritual. There's a balance there. One does not go without the other. They're hand in hand. So where are you right now in terms of your journey? This is Divine Soul Journey.
Well, I would say, we all as human beings is still developing. I feel I'm still developing. Spiritually, I think I'm pretty strong spiritually. I know I'm definitely a energy guy, and I can feel, my energy. When something is going wrong, my spirit would jump off the charts, and it would just actually just say, "Hey, something is bad here." So, my spirit is really, really good. I bring great vibe, great energy, definitely a great personality. But just as an individual, I'm still passionate about just learning more. I'm an ideal type of guy, so I definitely like being around like minds and people who want to rub ideas and brainstorm. I love that kind of energy. I love putting stuff together and getting projects done and getting the proper results, because I just like to see things end. It's only when you had those bad energy, which I have came across a lot. I'm pretty sure you have too. So it's still developing. Developing that stage and try to get that balance of being consistent around light minds with great energy. I think that's where I'm at right now. Trying to stay consistent right there. That's the next step.
Lovely. Many business owners and philanthropists and so forth, many of them are very holistic. They don't go around bragging about it, but they are as well. And this is something that they do know. You may or may not know this, that your spiritual channels are open. There are 4 main spiritual channels. Your third eye does not have to be open for you to understand any of this. because a different spiritual, like my knowing spiritual channel, knowing channel and communication and so forth. So when you have that gut feeling, your spiritual channels are open. Your guides are helping you. Your ancestors are helping you. Your heaven team is
Right.
helping you. And if you don't have a connection with someone or you don't feel right, it's because you've had some conflict. Your energy just don't click. And that can be from a past that you have some unresolved a situation to deal with that soul. Now, not the physical body, because we're just here, the soul just picks our body way ahead of time for a very specific reason. But when you have a connection with someone, it's like you feel, it's a different feeling. It's like you know them from somewhere before. You can't put your finger on it. That's because you've had relationships with that person before. Now, I always want you to understand, follow your gut, follow your guide, because yes, your spiritual channels are open and it's guiding you. On that note, Demario, there's something that we do every time on the show, and it's called a forgiveness practice. As well, I will do a blessing if you choose to accept the blessing. And again, this is so is it okay to give you a blessing? You don't have to accept it.
Yes, go ahead. Sure.
Thank you. So for those who with us right now, we're speaking with Demario Jones, a Divine Soul Journey with myself, Dianne, and we're going to be doing the very famous forgiveness practice, a short one, and a very short blessing. Now, like I mentioned before, this would be directed to Demario 100%, but you will get the sparks flying to you, and you may feel a tingle, you may feel a warmth, you may feel itchiness, you may feel like you're passing gas, or you want to go to the bathroom, or you want to burp. You can feel anything. You feel your head want to explode. Anything you can feel. Just know that this will integrate about 2 or 3 days in your body, and it's a release. If you don't feel anything, just believe me, you're still having, that is still an reaction to the blessing. All good. Trust me on that one. So if you choose to accept it, I would ask, so when I ask the marriage to say his name, you can say your name 3 times in silence as well. Now, if you're sitting down, awesome. Ground yourself. If you're standing, that's good. But if you're lying down, don't speak out loud. When you speak out loud, you say your prayers and so forth. The energy just goes through your body and it drains you. So always say it in silence if you're lying down, if you're not grounded to the to ground to Mother Earth. So Demario and everyone else on the who's listening on right now, I would like you to ground your feet flat on the ground. If you're crossing your legs, uncross your legs. And I'm going to put one hand under your navel and one hand by the sternum between your breastbone, which is where your 4th chakra is, your message center, your information center, we call it, not your physical heart, a little bit below your breastbone there. Okay? And I want you to just close your eyes and just visualize a golden light. Visualize the sun, just a golden rays. And if you have a favorite saint, guide, Jesus, Kuan Yin, Mother Teresa, whoever it is you want to, and you connect with, then visualize them. If not, just visualize the way, the sun, just the energy around your golden light. And as you straighten your back, please, if there's anything behind your back, a cushion and so forth, just sit up or just remove it because you want the energy to flow, okay? And I just want you to close your eyes and take some deep belly breaths, and your belly is swelling up. And the count of 5. And just relax. So you're going to visualize a golden light coming in to your belly and then out. Now, if you have physical pain, you can visualize where the pain is. Or you can also, if you can, put your hand in that spot. Could be your knee, your arm, your shoulder, your back. If it's uncomfortable, you can put your hand in by your message center, your 4th chakra under your breastbone. But just keep your mind that area mentally, because sometimes it might be uncomfortable. So here goes. So we'll take a few deep breaths in. Breathe in, golden light. Now, this can be for relationships, it can be for finance, it could be for physical pain, your health, it could be for anything of your choice. You decide. What typically I do is I let heaven decide. They know best. And if you're not sure as well, you can always focus on your heart. Heal your heart and you melt all blockages. So you're going to hear me say a few Mandarin words, very simple. How means hello. It also means all is well, all is good. Shen Qi Jin, Shen, S-H-E-N, is the soul, the heart, the mind. Qi is energy and Jin is matter. The heart houses the soul and the mind. But the soul is the boss. That's your breath of light. That's your spirit. That sends the information. Gonsang basically means that after our divine team comes down, our spiritual guides, they have to rest. So we tell them, yes, it's okay to rest. So Demario, if everyone could just be a little bit, compose yourself now. Just focus on yourself. Focus on your breathing. And here it goes. How? Dear divine source soul, they're all my fathers and mothers in heaven, and all my heaven's team and guides. I thank you all. And they're all the outer souls. And you can call in any guide, anyone that you want, Jesus, God, Buddha, Allah, whoever it is, for everyone who's listening. Call as many as you want. And then for the outer soul, the moon, the stars, the sky, the Mother Earth, there's always a yin and a yang. And every one of us have gifts and treasures. So we're going to turn on those treasures, which is stored in your lower abdomen. So they are the source, the soul of all light treasures in our abdomen. Please activate. Turn on. Thank you. And there, my doubter, the eye, healing hands, I please ask you to activate. Yes, I do have a very special gift. My hands. And the Tao basically means the source. Da means the nourishment. Da I means greatest love. Love heals all blockages as well. And we're going to do a forgiveness practice. Very simple, very short, that you can do this throughout the day, every day. And it goes like this. And you can add to it however you choose to. They are all the souls that I or my ancestors may have hurt, harmed, taken disadvantage of, cheated on, spoken ill of, thought ill of, and everything else anymore. Just name whatever it is you want to name. We ask for your forgiveness in this lifetime or in all the lifetimes that we may have disrespected you. And for all the souls who may have hurt myself and my ancestors in any lifetimes, or cheated or disrespect in relationship, in finance, in all different areas, we give forgiveness. Thank you. Very simple, right? And, dear divine, please, as appropriate, offer a blessing to Demario Jones. Demario, say your name 3 times. And to all our listeners who will be getting a splash flash, a spark of this blessing. And they can choose the area that they want a blessing in. And Demario yourself, you can just in your heart, always from your heart, speak to heaven and tell heaven what you want. And if there's an ache or pain, somewhere focus on that as appropriate. And to please transform any negative messages, or as we say, Shen Shijin, blockages, into positive virtue and messages. And send those virtue down into our physical bodies, in our health and relationship, and in our bank account for finance as well, or any area that we need it. You know best. Blessing starts. Keep breathing and just focus on that golden light in the areas. I'm going to sing a soul song and a soul language. Yes, we all do have a soul song and a soul language. And you're listening to the music of the love, peace, and harmony in the background, which is a healing song, very powerful as well. Blessing starts. Silent blessing continues. Just keep breathing. Visualize that light. Go to your heart. Feel it there. And it's growing and it's growing. Brighter and brighter. And as it gets bigger, feel it go through every cell in your body. And it just bursts open and explodes. And every shenshijin of each cell in your body. And take some deep breaths in. Rest and ends. Down hands rest. Take some deep breaths in and out. And the positive light energy in, the toxic comes out. Let it integrate into your body all the positive energy and light, and the love, and the healing. Now put your hands into your prayer position, and you can give thanks and praise and gratitude, however you choose to. The way we see it is, dear divine source, so thank you. Thank you, all my heavens team. Thank you for all the souls who came. Thank you, my Dao Dada and all my treasures, my light treasures. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you, love you, love you. I always say things in threes for like the Trinity. I'm eternally grateful. We honor and respect you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Countless blessings, countless blessings, countless blessings. Some people may go down on their knees and give countless blessings, and that's okay. You can give it 108 times. Gonsong, Gonsong, Gonsong. Thank you, Master Shah. And when you're ready, take a deep breath. Open your eyes. And you're ready to share with us. If there's anything to share, please do share. Feel the calmness in your body. Feel the light. Feel the tingle, the heat, the sensations. Sensation comes in different ways. You may find that it's moving around the energy. You may find certain areas of your body is more intense. That's because the blockages are being released. I tend to find it a lot in my spine, especially behind my heart area. Those are all blockages in my lower back. Sometimes in your arms, sometimes in your feet, sometimes in your knees, sometimes it's traveling. And whenever you have any heavy sensations, you can always move that energy mentally into your lower abdomen and just breathe. So Demario, how do you feel? If If there's anything
I
to
feel great.
any particular sensation or anything you want to share in Pacific, or just generally, you don't have to. But if there's anything that you feel a little different, just to
No,
show the audience.
everything is fine. I think we covered everything, and
How's your heart?
it was great.
How does your
My
heart
heart,
feel? Mm-hmm.
well, it's still alive. It's beating.
Yeah, sometimes people feel a lightness, a calmness. But thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
no, I'm good. Yeah, yeah. So this, it's fine overall. Yeah, it feels good. It
Mhm.
was a great let out.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Yes.
now going forward in regards to your journey, what do you see yourself? What's in your future for you, Demario Jones, as we wrap up here soon?
The future. I, Now it's just really just continue to develop and learn more and try to take in because it's just we're coming into a new world. So just trying to transition at this point and trying to learn new things. There's a lot of new stuff that just being able to being offered out here. So um, I'm always about just kind of learning, and re-educating myself and going out there and going forward again. Because again, speaking for myself, uh, you know, I'm one of those people. People just can't see how I do what I do, and I just be working within myself compared to everybody else having everything in the world given to them, and so that's just the journey. So that's what I look forward to. Continue to make the individual who don't think you should be doing what you're doing, keep proving them wrong, basically. Especially when they have all the tools. It should tell you a lot about everybody, right?
Absolutely. So, what would you say to someone who is thinking about international business? Just briefly, what are some of the key points that you can share with them if that's a journey that they want to start?
Um, I, w- yeah, I would say educate yourself. Depending on the country you're going to, you got to remember, you know, um, every country is different from the country you're born and raised or the one you're living in. They don't live within the same rules as you do. So you need to learn that. And you also need to make sure, when you do learn it and you try to open yourself up, you know, um, you have to be very accepting to the culture. Everybody
That's
can't,
correct.
you know, be accepted to every culture. Like people are people. So, the average person just don't know how to deal with another culture. But I mean, that's going to be a lot of the issue right there. And if you
Absolutely.
can pick up some languages, that will always help. But the main thing, you have to really educate yourself on the country that you're going to or you're trying to participate in. Other than that, it's just going to be a disaster for you. You got to make some friends. You
I
know,
agree.
you got to make friends. You got to have somebody that you can trust and that you can deal with on your level. Whatever that is. Somebody who actually make you feel comfortable and you're happy. I mean, that's key too. So that's the best advice I can give you. I mean, business is always going to be business, but everything else is just education and personality, and it's just understanding, who you're dealing with. There's so many different things out there in the world that people just don't understand how things work. You know.
I totally agree. And we were supposed to go to Egypt. Uh, that was a long time ago, and I literally had to go and do my homework as a woman, and of course, a very free-spirited, independent woman. In terms
Mhm.
of the culture, it's different for the male as to the female. You can't look people in the eyes. You cannot dress this way. You cannot do this. You have
Yes.
to, even the Chinese, have to be respectful the way they present their cards and so forth. And it's a
Correct.
discipline. So yes, I have been to Pakistan as well, which is a little bit different. And yes, but you really have to you really have to understand the cultures. And you're so absolutely right. And it's all about culture. It's all about positioning. It's all about,
Correct.
how you want people to perceive you yourself. So if you want to walk the walk and talk the talk, you have to know what you're doing. And I thank you
Correct.
for sharing this with us. Words of wisdom. What would you like to leave our audience with quickly with some words of wisdom?
Words of wisdom. They're probably not gonna like this one,
It's
but this
okay.
is
It's your
very,
words
very.
of wisdom.
This is yeah. This is very, very serious, and you gotta really, think about this. There's no loyalty amongst thieves. Okay, no loyalty amongst thieves. This work in every situation. When you're talking about growing and you're trying to climb a ladder, or you're trying to, if it's career driven, whether it's your love life, is this always going to apply somewhere. Okay, it's a good boundary.
That's amazing. The last time I heard you say that, it's so funny. I was looking at a show, and that same quote the same night I heard it. And again, you're absolutely right. You always have to have your guard up, not too much up, but always have your guard up and your boundaries, because you never know. You're going to be tested. You're going to be tested by people. You're going to be
Yes,
tested, spiritually, because this is your journey. To tell you the truth, none of this exists really and truly. It's all a hologram for people who want to understand that. You will understand. For those who don't understand, it's okay. But the point is, you will be constantly tested in so many different, in the physical and the spiritual, to see if it's for you.
yes,
Because you know what they say, the money comes and it can go, and you've seen that happen. And but it's the most important thing is you want to make sure you keep your wealth. And wealth does not necessarily have to be money. It could be wealth in abundance. Flourishing means so many things. It could be in health. It could be in relationship. It could be in so many things. So whatever you do and achieve, you want to make sure that however you gain that, or how you got it, you want to make sure it's with 100% pure heart. You want to make sure it is you who did it. You accomplish it so you can be proud of it, because money is a flow of energy, as you know. It's not here to be hoarded. It's here to invest in yourself. And this is what Demario is doing. Correct, Demario? You're investing in
correct.
yourself. You're investing for your family. You're investing for your children. You're investing for you also have a responsibility to your business partners as well, because you're representing
Yes,
them, and they expect that
and
from you.
you're investing in your spirit too, because it takes to sacrifice a lot of these things, and you have to be almost crazy, but it definitely it's a strain on your mind. And that's why I use the word, there's no loyalty amongst thieves, okay? Because the most loyal person that you might be next to you might be a thief. You might not know it in the end. And trust me, I've seen this in real time.
Yes, I believe we all have seen that in real time. A quick quote.
Yeah.
What's one of your favorite quotes
Yes,
besides the thieves? Any quick quote?
yes. But that's about it right now. I mean, that's I actually, define that. So that's just I go off that, and that just me talking. So yeah.
Well, let me ask you this quick question. What makes you smile and laugh?
What makes me smile
And laugh. Yes. Keeps you young.
a lot? What makes me smile a lot is someone else smiling back.
Beautiful. So everybody's job is to make someone smile.
Yeah.
A couple times a day. Because you never know how that will affect the other person and just make their day. So I would like to say, Demario, thank you so much for sharing your story and for the words of wisdom and the knowledge and the guidance that you've given to each and every one of us. And we have so many people listening here globally that they're all reaching out, they're all seeking something. And they may pick up one nugget, one words of wisdom, one golden moment, whatever you want to call it. And if that was you, whatever it is you learned today, I would like you to do something for me and for Demario. Implement it. Let it become a mantra, a ritual. Create a mantra and a ritual for 21 days, 30 days, 45 days. Every time you learn something, implement it. Let it become a habit and a ritual. And you will see how that will help you. It's a discipline. Just like Demario had to discipline himself and wake up 5:30 every morning for 4 years as a young man because he wanted something against all odds. So we're saying here today, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing us to be who we are. Thank you for asking for us. Thank you for the smiles that you give us. Thank you for the gesture. Thank you for lending a hand. Thank you for the calmness that you bring to us. Thank you for the peace. And most importantly, just thank you for being you. I thank you, Demario, for being you. I thank our audience for being who they are. And let them know that they're never alone. On Divine Soul Journey, we're here with them, to be with them, to guide them, to hold their hand, to learn from them. And we're just happy to do so. So on that note, I would like to say thank you again, Demario. Thank you, everyone. Shalom. Aloha. Namaste. Sitaram. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. And in the words of Master Shah, in love, peace, and harmony, let us all join together and bring love, peace, and harmony. Until next time, on the Divine Soul Journey, this is Dianne and Mario say thank you. Have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Dianne,